Salah versus Shanahan. So Shanahan's been coaching longer than Salah, I believe. Shanahan's been coaching a long time. So is Salah. But you just said that Robert Salah is ascending as a coach. Unclear if Kyle Shanahan is ascending as a coach. I mean, last year was awful for him. Last year wasn't great for Salah either. But it seems to me that, well, before I say what I think, what do you think? Why would you say Robert Salah has improved so much over the years while Kyle Shanahan has kind of stayed the same?
Okay, let me come back. You said Salah didn't have such a good year last year. My impression is the Jets' defense was pretty good.
And it was really good, and then he got fired, and then it tanked.
But when he was there, it was really good.
And the 2 previous years, it was elite, better than the Niners defense.
Yeah, and that's a crummy team and a crummy franchise.
Yes.
So he failed as a head coach. He's not a head coach anymore. As a defensive coordinator, he's cutting edge, Iggy.
Yeah.
Okay, here's how I look at him. Again, Iggy, I only know what you've told me, and I only know when I see him in news conferences. I've never met him. I never will. He strikes me as really intelligent. Like if you tested him, absolutely high IQ. That's how he strikes me. He strikes me as a man who's relentlessly curious, always asking himself questions. How do I do this? How do I do it better? What's a wrinkle on this? He's a chess player. He's a serious chess player. He's always testing moves, the way Bill Walsh was always testing offensive plays. His mind, I believe, is always doing that. When you're around a teacher, he's a teacher who has a vibrant, alive intellectual life and makes you a better student.
Yeah.
So I see him as, like, I had certain professors at Lafayette College or at Stanford when I was in graduate school. I could hear them talk about boiling water. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Cutting the grass. And I would learn and I would be thrilled whatever they said. Now, here's the thing about Kyle. Again, I've never met him. I've never tested these guys. I think Kyle is reasonably intelligent, but not like Salah.
Agree.
I don't think he is as curious as Salah. I don't think he asks himself the same questions that Salah asked. And these are challenging questions. Who am I? How can I do better? What is the meaning of my defense or offense? But here's the killer. I believe that Kyle cannot develop his offense any further. You know how we were talking about ascending and descending? I feel Salah is ascending. And he demands it of himself. I feel Kyle is not ascending. He's not descending, but he's not ascending. He's got a system, and he's damn well going to do that system. Yeah. So he is static. I see him, and for the rest of his career, I see him as static at a very high level, Iggy. But not ascending. That's why I think, and I'm not even talking about personal stuff. That's why I prefer Salah to him.
I think what they have in common is their work ethic. I don't think you could say that Robert Salah works harder at football than Kyle Shanahan. I think Kyle grinds as hard as anyone. And I think that's why a lot of coaches respect him. Is like, he's supposed to be this Nepo kid, but when you watch him on a day-to-day basis, he really, really works as hard as anyone. And that's a big reason why he's so good. But I think why he doesn't change and Salah does, you talked about it, like to actually change, if you go and practice something at, the gym or at the golf range or whatever, practicing doesn't necessarily make you better. It just kind of ingrains what you're doing. And to improve, you have to look at what you did afterward and say, how did I do a good job? Where could I have done better? And I don't know that Shanahan asked that question or does a good job of answering that question for himself. It's a tough one.
I feel he's satisfied with his system. My system is great. I worked it out with my dad. My system works. The players have to buy into what I do. Well, I think the minute you do that, you limit yourself and you don't grow as much.
And I think it's deeper than that. I think like Salah's just like secure in himself. So he can hear someone say, like, Back when I was nobody, I would go up to him and be like, hey, man, you're not using Solomon Thomas right. You should put Solomon Thomas at nose tackle, get him a one-on-one with the center. And he'd smile and be like, I like that idea. Let's talk about it. As opposed to Kyle Shanahan, if someone did that to him, like, he couldn't do that. I think there's an inherent insecurity where he would tear someone to shreds publicly, privately, if they gave him a suggestion, because it's not his fault. He didn't do anything wrong. We saw this in both Super Bowl losses. The first one was Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. And he made that real clear when he traded up for Trey Lance. Second one was Steve Wilkes' fault. He made that clear when he fired him.
Yeah, and I don't think it was Steve Wilkes' fault.
No. It wasn't Jimmy's fault. In both cases, it was Kyle's fault. You didn't run the ball in the third quarter. We have the numbers.
And Wilkes didn't forget the rules or not learn the rules. And I can't prove that Kyle didn't know the overtime rules, but I sure don't think he did. I sure don't think he did. So, okay, we just did I love comparisons. So we just did the defensive coordinator and the head coach. Probably the 49ers are not going to be happy at what we said, but Iggy, I'm an old man. I'm entitled to my opinion, and you're a young man and entitled to your opinion.
You did say that Kyle Shanahan's very good, and I agree. And I think what makes him so interesting to cover is that he's sort of a Greek mythological figure. He does carry the team to a very, very close to the finish line. He's the bus driver. He's a spark plug for most of this. And then he gets to the second half of the Super Bowl with the lead, and he's the reason they lose. And it's like, I've never seen anyone like that.
You just mixed about 4 metaphors.
Sorry.
Went from Greek mythology to the bus driver to the finish line and all that. Let's go back to Greek. Let's go back to Greek mythology, which interests me more. In what sense is he from Greek mythology?
Because he's a blessing for the 49ers. He created all of this. He brought in John Lynch. He brought in Robert Saleh and D'Amico Ryans. He makes the offense work with quarterbacks that probably other coaches wouldn't have success with. It's his vision. So he gets credit for the whole thing. It's not like he's Nick Sirianni and he's following orders from the general manager. This is his team. And then when he gets to the very, very end where he can become the hero, he can't do it. It's not just that he isn't good enough to win the championship. He's the reason they choke. He's a choker until further notice. It's tragic.
I understand. He appears to be a choker in that he gets in his own way at the end.
Right.
He is his own destiny, like Greek. He's his own destiny, and it's a destiny of almost but finally failing.
Right. And he tells himself, it's not my fault. And I'm facing Mahomes. I'm facing Tom Brady. I'm facing these all-time greats. No. You're facing yourself. You're facing yourself.
He's facing. I love it. I'm glad we came back to the Greeks.
Yes, the Greeks are important.
The Greeks are important. You're facing yourself, and the battle you have in order to win a Super Bowl is to honestly face yourself and do something different. And
if he could do that, he'd be the best coach in football.
And currently, he's a tragic hero.
Yes.
He's a hero. But he is
a hero.
He's a hero, but he's a tragic hero, and it breaks your heart.
Yeah, it does.
Breaks your heart.
You did good, Dad. That was good.
I was an English major. I could do this stuff.
PhD. All right, Niner fan 8537 says, I feel that if they do extend him, it should be a 3-year deal and not a 2-year again. Jennings. Thoughts, feelings, impressions? They'll work it out.
Whatever. Yeah,
whatever.
Those are details.
Sheridan Milestone 1737 says, don't pay Jennings, trade him in a mid-late rounder for Terry McLaurin or for a position of need like O-line or D-line. What are your thoughts, Dad?
They need wide receivers.
Now, McLaurin's a wide receiver, but McLaurin's 30, and McLaurin's going to be very expensive. He wants $32 million a year. He's 30.
Well, forget it. They're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that. Why pay any wide receiver that had a horrible separation against DBs last season? 50-50 balls and contested catches isn't a viable long-term offensive strategy.
I thought he did pretty well.
I think he's pretty good at catching the balls.
I think he's pretty
Bolden
good.
could do it his whole career.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good.
I think he can do it. I don't know. That's the thing with Jennings. It's not like he's a one-year wonder. He's always been good. He just didn't get the same opportunities because he was a 7th-round pick and there were other guys ahead of him who weren't necessarily better.
That's how Kyle is. He identified him as a number 3. So he was a number 3, as opposed to, I got to keep investigating this. Maybe I should change the numbers a little bit. You once asked him why he didn't play Jordan Mason more.
Mhm.
And didn't he
Mhm.
say because he's the number 3?
Mhm.
Didn't he say that?
Yeah, like he was averaging 6 yards a carry, and Elijah Mitchell was averaging like 2 yards a carry, and it was like, hey, I must be an idiot, but how come Jordan Mason is behind Elijah Mitchell on the depth chart? And he's like, oh, that's because Jordan Mason's the number 3 running back. I was like, oh, thank you, very appreciate it, got it.
It's like, I think it's fair occasionally to say maybe I could rearrange these numbers, and he doesn't seem to want to do that until someone gets hurt.
Yeah, because again, that would say like, hey, I had a vision for what this would be, and I was wrong. And it turned out a different way. And that's okay. I'm going to go with it. But it seems like he's so committed to his vision, he has to prove that he was right ahead of time.
Yeah, yeah. And a part of growing up is admitting you're wrong and making the needed changes.
You don't have to be right all the time. You have to admit when you're wrong, and you have to admit it quickly so you can pivot.
And Iggy, no one is right all the time.
No.
No one.